And then another art book, Ravilious and Company, The Pattern of Friendship. This is about friends and artists. It's almost like how do we call it? It's a research on the lives of artists, but modern day. And these artists are British artists of the 20th century. So that is Eric Ravilious. And then Edward, and some of their friends and artists and lovers. And it's sort of looking at the way in which they lived together and influenced each other during the Second World War, and their shared experience in their lives and how that informed their work. I have read a similar book like this, and that was the Vazari book, The Lives of Artists. And as you can see, this might be one of my special interests too. Okay. I have How to Live by Sarah Bakewell. I have read at the Existentialist Cafe. Highly recommend, because it gives you sort of a good historical context on existentialist philosophy and thought, by allowing you to be soft launched into these lives of these critical thinkers who contributed a lot to existentialist philosophy. This is about Montaigne, and it sort of tries to answer the question of how to live in 20 attempts using Montaigne's essays. And highly recommend. I already started this last year at the beginning of the year, but then I stopped reading it because I felt that I was not in the mindset to really take as much as I could from the book. If I make it, I might actually finally read Nietzsche's Twilight of the Idols with the Antichrist and Ecce Homo. So it's three books, 3 pieces of writing by Nietzsche. So, yep, that's on my list. Descartes. I've already read book 1 on rules for the direction of the mind, so I still have a few more to read. But yeah, this takes some decent amount of work. Like, you really do have to pay attention to some of the language, what he's talking about. But basically, I would say that this is the missing piece on for every, let's say, science major or math major, or actually, like all the engineering fields, everything that needs proofs, like mostly math. But like, this guy is who you should blame for not understanding why you need to do something in math. But if you don't want to blame this guy, I think anyone in a engineering, like a field that involves proofs and logical thinking, should definitely read this book. I do not know why, for some reason, the sciences are very separate from philosophy, which is really annoying to me now that I keep thinking about it. That we ignore that philosophy sort of created the sciences, you know? Like thinking this guy, this mathematician slash philosopher, like this is philosophical writings, but everything in this book is almost very closely mathematical. So if you're really having a hard time grasping mathematical concepts and you need a break from it, but you also need some type of context, Descartes is your guy. Period. I don't know if anyone has another guy who is better than Descartes to, direct someone to, but obviously it's a shame that we ignore the philosophy books, the arts, for no reason. This guy, logical thinking. So that's why I'm reading it. Obviously obviously Georges by Plato. I've said the title for this book way too many times now. I'm almost. It's Georges by Plato. Ethics, morality, and rhetoric. And I am also reading Madame Bovary. I've already read most of this. But yeah, eventually I might be able to talk a little bit more about each of these books. But let's finish the list. That is my favorite magazine, Philosophy Now. So yeah, this is what I'm reading for January. I will be done by the end of, before the end of January. For sure. I have definitely enjoyed this issue. It's the happiness issue. And then reading Lolita in Tehran by Azar Nafisi. And Lolita, because the language is beautiful, and because Denis Diderot said, read the book. It's a way of understanding. Literature's purpose is to help us understand and be in the shoes of others without really doing the things the others would do. And that is the greatest form of art. It allows us to be empathetic, to understand everyone, to be better communicators, to be better lovers, to be better humans in general, and also to even understand ourselves. So yeah, that's my big list. I think that's an incomplete list because, as I already talked about this, my reading is always informed by what I'm currently reading, so I end up picking more books along the way, and obviously the list becomes endless. But thank you for listening to me yap a little bit about my books. I am going to upload this without editing because I think it's a bit more natural that way. It's a bit less chaotic if I have to edit this. But if you did listen to the end of it, thank you so much. And let's read. Reading changes the world. I believe it. Obviously, writing is as important as reading, but that's a topic for another day. Make a reading list, make it running, commit to your books, read fiction and non-fiction, find niche interests, lean into your interests. It could be like, when I was 20 to 25, I had a niche interest in this topic, and that is very interesting in my opinion to say. And then you're like, yeah, when I got around this few years, like my years of philosophy, my years of physics, that is interesting. And for me, I'm in the era of philosophy, art, and literature. I would say, like, trying to read the classics. Let's try. I think it's better than not trying. This is gonna be too long, so I'm gonna end it here, but thank you for listening. Bye.